September 29th, 2016. Guys, you're looking at the web page from the National Hurricane Center showing Hurricane Matthew, now a Cat 1 at 75 miles an hour, and gusts are, I think, around 105, but the sustained winds at 70 miles per hour. Hurricane hunters came through there today and dropped one of their sensors through this, and we're getting 95 mile an hour winds, and that's when they put it to a Cat 1. This is looking at it both in infrared and visible images as the sun sets over the west. Now, it's getting some wind shear at this point, but I think that's very temporary because they've got this thing becoming a Cat 2 within close to 24 hours. We'll take a look at that. Early Saturday morning, this thing could be a Cat 2. Now, they're expecting it to take a northern turn. You're seeing some of the wind shear coming in from the west to the east. You've got one model going into the Gulf and coming up into the inner panhandle of Florida. The red model is interesting because it comes over Cuba and then takes a left right into the Miami area. Now let's look at the Canadian models here. Notice your timestamp, September 30th. We're not far from that tonight. And it's showing the storm. Now, I want you to pay attention. It's a Cat 1 now, and look at the barometric pressure. Look at the size of the storm. But watch as it goes to a Cat 2. That's going to be early October 1st, Cat 2. Now, if the Canadian models are correct, and many other people are predicting a rapid strengthening of this storm, and now look at the size of it. And that's just October 3rd. Now, we're going to have to watch this turn. There's a couple of factors involved in whether it will go into the Gulf or come up the East Coast or go right into Florida. We won't know that really, guys, till the last 12 hours, to be honest with you, unless it makes a rapid turn north and back east into the North Atlantic. Now, this happens to be a model from Wave Watch 3, and it's showing the wave heights of in the predicted path of this storm. Notice the scale to the right. When you get into that hot pink area, you're dealing with 37-foot seas. So that's a large storm, and it's strengthening. Now, this particular model, a GFS model, is showing the barometric pressure. The purple is the lowest. When you start getting into that area of pressure, the lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. And take a look at NOAA wind speed. You've got, again, Cat 1 hurricane. You see the red indicating the speed of the storm. You go from the green, yellows, orange into the red. That gives you your indication of the speed. But notice these wind currents are moving south, moving to the west, and then dipping down towards Panama. So you got the predicted path turning north, and you can see the currents there going up the outer coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean. And it's going to depend on which of these particular wind patterns it gets trapped in. This is sea temperature and wave motion. Notice the pinker areas. That's the hottest water. You've got hot water leading right up into the Gulf, the warmer water. But there's a large section south of Cuba. And that's where this storm is headed, and they expect it to rapidly develop. Now, will it follow the trail of the warm water? That's what it's going to feed off of. We've seen that happen in the Gulf Stream. But it says it's become the 5th hurricane of the 2016 Atlantic hurricane season. Jamaica, Hispaniola, Cuba, and the Bahamas are threatened. It's located 150 miles northeast of Curaçao as of this evening. Hurricane Hunter Reconnaissance Mission earlier this afternoon measured flight level winds a few thousand feet above the sea at just over 85 miles an hour northeast of the center of circulation, and a drop sun just 2,100 feet above the surface, sample winds of 94 miles an hour, prompting the upgrade to hurricane status. A tropical storm watch continues for Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao, and the northern coast of Colombia. Winds of 40 miles an hour or greater are possible in the ABC Islands beginning later tonight and northern Colombia tomorrow. Current watches and warnings are, and this is from radar from Meteo France, shows the heaviest rain has ended, but a few bands of rain are still lingering over parts of the Lesser Antilles and will slowly diminish. Some parts had up to 12 inches, some of the airports there. But notice September 30th, October 1st, now we have a Cat 2, 120 mile an hour gust. And continuing into that warm water that we were talking about that's south of Cuba, it's getting warmer and warmer. Now, will it follow that northern turn, or will it try to follow the hot water and the currents? We got a high pressure system coming down that's bringing this cool air, and that's going to be the major steering current according to about 60% of the models, and pushing it back into the North Atlantic. But guys, we're watching this. We'll have an update in the morning. There's a couple other things that we need to talk about. Heads up, be safe.